Hey folks, Thursday, August 28th, up $3 today. Hardly anything. Remember, don't copy me. Don't risk any money you can't afford to lose. Trade in the simulator. Today we took 10 trades, a variety of symbols, and we were up and down all over the place. We didn't know what to expect after the earnings yesterday. Earnings for Nvidia were a little bit subdued. However, it looks like the CEO can woo the investors because this morning Nvidia was up to 183 while it had been down 176 yesterday during the earnings conference call. So we're looking at a few symbols this morning. I put down AQB, which had no signs of life in pre-market. I don't know what made me choose it, but so we started moving in. OTLK was also moving slightly. It was a small price stock. And I did something here that I do not recommend that you do, and that was switching back and forth between two stocks. And we were just in not too many shares, just looking to get a feeling for the market and where the volume was. The volume was, at least for my taste, it was a lot less than I expected it after reading the reports this morning. GDP was up, unemployment claims were down, the continuing claims were down, and so we had great financial economic reports this morning for the U.S. So that certainly does, I think, cement a cut coming this September. But I think that the holiday may have something to do with the slowdown and why the market didn't pick up today. I think we should see better volume next week, and we should see stocks moving up quite convincingly when they do get momentum. So we're back and forth between AQAB and OTLK, just making a few bucks here and there. The other stocks that I had marked out, CWD and TLO and LGHL, really didn't pan out. It looks like they succumbed. And I'm glad I didn't take any trades. I was being very cautious. And unlike yesterday, where I was, my mental state, I think, was all in. This morning was a little bit more careful, setting stops, small stops, very tight stops, so that my losses wouldn't be that great. We're up $90 on the month of August. It's our first green month since September of last year, which is a good thing. We managed to reduce risks. We managed to reduce losses. We've increased the number of winning trades versus losing trades and managed to narrow the gap between the dollar amount of each winning trade versus each losing trade. So even though for the month of August, I'm at like $19 average for a winning trade and $22 losing per trade, I have more winning trades than losing trades. Thereby, I've got a surplus, or I'm green, the $90. So you notice I'm back and forth changing, and the clock up there, you see Batman giving us the time, and we're jumping quite a bit of ahead. Didn't trade in pre-market. There wasn't anything worthwhile. Was not going to trade anything out of the open. And my thought was that things might pick up a little later. And I think that the Nvidia news, how the market's reacting, how investors are reacting, and then the economic news hadn't sunk in quite a bit yet. It's we're trading here around 6:43 Pacific AM time. It is now about 9:20 AM Pacific time. And as I'm looking at there is a stock out there, SOGP, that moved from just under $4 all the way, and it's up now at $9. So I quit trading at around 7. You'll see those trades at the end of the video. And did not expect it to go higher. And I thought, you know what? People are going to go on vacation Thursday and Friday, have the long holiday weekend and be back Monday. But it looks like there was some interest, at least for that one stock. So in all these entries, here's where I start sizing up a little bit. But you notice that I still put a stop, and I'm conscious of the fact as to where my maximum is. I wasn't looking to lose another $40 today. I think in my mind, 25 to 30 was my max loss for today. I change it every day. It is just the way it is. And but we have these two stocks, AQAB and OTLK. They move up, move down, move up, move down, and they were hunting for liquidity. And I think we got caught in those trades. The other thing I also did, in addition to the adding the stop loss, was take a look at my MACD. I really relied on the MACD to tell me whether it'd be a good place where to take a trade or not. You see that MACD line above the signal line, and it's flailing. It looks like it wants to go, but you're not sure. So both OTLK and AQB showed potentials, but it just didn't pan out. And I think that's how SOGP won out over the day. Now, if you've got the screen space and you've got enough space to where you can manage two stocks at the same time, then I think it's fine. But I think it's a little dangerous. Right now, this volume in the market, I don't think has the volume that typically exists, and it's not moving as fast as it normally does. When it moves normally, it is just, to me, it's 2-3 times as fast as it is now, and then it becomes very difficult to manage two entries into a stock, especially if you're day trading. So what I did was I was setting the stops. That way I could switch back and forth. And if I got stopped out, I got stopped out. But I was expecting more of each of those stocks. I was looking for moves up, but it just didn't happen. AQB was trading in a range and bound by that range. And unless you got in at the low end and guessed correctly, you weren't about to make money. So I apologize for the back and forth. It's just the way I was trading today. And notice that as the stock does move up higher, I do move my stop up. And the pattern off of this one is that first small green bar that's off the 20 off the blue line there, and then the big bar, the big green bar. And then it's just a matter of watching them higher highs and or even higher lows, and then eventually take one. But it was having a hard time at 110. AQB, you can see here, it's just consolidating within that range, and it really wasn't much to have had here. And now you can see that the MACD is flailing towards the downward slope there. Even though I'm moving my stop to give the stock a little bit more room. Meanwhile, back at OTLK, like and subscribe, guys. If you like the videos, leave your comments, questions below. It helps out the channel, helps us propagate so that more people can see these videos and be helped out. So I'm watching the 5 minute there, and there's no red candle. There's only a single red candle on the 1 minute there. And even though the super trend MACD is flailing down, the MACD there is remaining high above the signal line. And we're just about to hit high of days there. And so here I'm thinking it's gonna be time to flatten out. That's exactly what I do. Very small win. Back to AQB again. We're in for 50 shares. And these stocks aren't moving a whole lot. So 50 shares on a stock under $2 isn't going to net you much. But we have a nice move here. And we flattened out for a couple of bucks. So it's 7 a.m. and we're up probably around $3.54 at this point. And we begin to watch other stocks, and THAR, the stock that won't go away. I think this stock has been on continuation now for several days. But I think we went in a little too late. We were hoping there was very little moving. And I think folks were searching, looking for something to bet on so that they could jump in. And of course, we only went in with 5 shares. We're being careful. And as I narrate this video, I'm looking at SOGP, and it's reached $10.30 as of 9:27 a.m. Pacific time. So definitely the market was waiting for the 9:30 time to make its move. It's now at 10:50, 10:63, and of course I'm out of cash, so I can't trade it anymore. But I couldn't be sure with the pending holiday that we were going to have a stock surging up in the midday. But there it is. Now up at 1091, and I think it's halted. So we'll see what happens. Might hit 13, 14. SLGP had no resistance up at the top, so it's clear to go as high as it can. But now back to our story. So AQB begins to show, and you see the high of day there, 160, that one bar. I almost bought into it, and I didn't hit the button fast enough, and I didn't catch that 10, 12 cent move up there. I missed it. So I jumped in late, thinking that it might have a good recovery there. Went in with 200 shares. And that's one of the issues. So when stocks are trading in a range and you're going in and out hoping to catch the waves, what you're doing is, in a small account, you're using up your cash reserves there. And what that does is when and if an opportunity does come up, that's moving very quickly that you want to jump in, of course, what has happened is you've already used up your cash trading these other stocks, and every $300 trade reduces your 2K account settle funds, and like I was doing earlier, I was making $2-3, but using up $300 worth of cash, and that adds up. So in 4 trades, that's $400 that you could use for something like this SOGP stock. I would have stayed on had I had that amount of cash. I would have stayed on and watched it through, and maybe made a little bit of money. But anyway, we move on. Tomorrow's another day. And so here we're holding, but we set a high stop, and yeah, we lose $13.71. Still isn't that high, and I think we're down $18 at this point for the day. That was our highest. And then now here's SOGP, and it starts moving up, and I didn't think this stock had anywhere to go at pre-market because it just the volume wasn't there. But I did see that it had a huge potential. But sometimes when you see a stock that has no resistance and has reached this highest point of its lifetime, or going back to at least a year, you would think that the sky's the limit, but it isn't so. That sky also becomes resistance. And only if the right conditions are met will that stock rise. And I think looking at what I'm seeing now, with that stock reaching over $10, $10.91, and being on hold, the conditions were that they were just traders finally lost interest in all the other stocks that were just trading within a range, and all bunched up and jumped on the SOGP wagon. So here we're holding, and we have a tight stop. We're willing to lose another $10 or so. So we'd wind up at 30 or so down. And that would have been an okay day. I was willing to take it because the conditions of the market, and at least the conditions of the morning in time at 8:16 a.m. I thought certainly at 8 we would see a rise in the number of buyers coming in, and we finally see it starts picking up here. And we're able to make a few bucks. The SPY was also moving higher today. So Nvidia was moving slow. It is now moving back up above 180, and it looks like the market has woken up. SOGP just came off the halt and reached 1122. It's now at 1130, and it looks like it's going to keep going higher. So, you put 20 shares down, you buy 20 shares at a $7 stock that goes up $4 or $5. That's $100 right there. So it doesn't take much, but you just have to be patient and be willing to do a day trade, a long day trade. So we continue to hold on 50 shares, and with a tight stop, we move the stop out. That way, if we stopped out, we're in the green still. And at that point, we see a little bit of resistance at 738, and we decide to just take our winnings. But SOGP wants to keep going. So we continue to watch it, and now we're looking at it for a 750 break. And on the 5 minute, still no red candles. And it looks like it's going to hit that high a day and go over 750. And there's a pullback. And we finally see that 5 minute pullback there, the red bar. Now our super trend MACD is still pointing downwards, but our MACD is still above the signal line. And so what we're going to do here is wait for the 5 minute for a new candle. And you see I've got my line there. And here's where I come in and I check it. You can see very quickly that it has no resistance above that line. And so now I get excited about the ability to jump back in, but we're going to wait for a new 5 minute candle. And so what we'll be looking for right here is a new 5 minute candle. But we do like the fact that this red candle is picking itself up and that it's reclaimed about halfway up from that red candle. And if you see two candles over, it overtakes that green candle, and it's time for us to jump in. We don't get filled. Twice we try to get filled, and we don't. We finally get filled. And there it is. The red candle has picked up on the 5 minute chart. And now we're green on the 1 minute. And the MACD still has a nice range above the signal line. And we set again a tight stop of 10. Or $5 rather. Or I removed it. Give it room to breathe. And then we quickly flatten out. Have a great day.